Good morning, everybody. I'd like to welcome you on behalf of MACF to our webinar this morning with Duke Energy. We really appreciate your attendance today. To be respectful of everybody's time, we'll go ahead and get started. I would just like to remind everyone to keep yourself on mute while we are in the webinar, and please save your questions till the end. However, if you think of some questions as we're running through the webinar, feel free to put them in the chat box. I'm going to go ahead and turn this webinar over to Wendell Hines. Wendell Hines with Duke Energy. Wendell, good morning, and thank you for being with us today.
Good morning. Thank you, Christian. And good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Unlocking the Power of Duke Energy webinar. Pun intended with power, right? First, we would like to get started with a couple housekeeping items at Duke Energy. Safety is paramount to us, so we like to start off all of our meetings with safety. We just simply ask that you all be familiar with your surroundings, make sure that you're in a safe place to take today's webinar. And we ask that if you have to be mobile throughout this presentation, we ask that if you plan to participate, that you pull over, make yourself safe, and then commence to engaging in the presentation this morning. So we will give you a few seconds to make yourself safe and be familiar with your surroundings, plan an exit strategy if one is warranted, and you can always follow up with Christian. And if Christian needs to contact Duke Energy, she knows how to do so, and we will facilitate getting you caught up on anything that you may have missed. Okay. The second item that I would like to just make mention of, we had an unforeseen conflict this morning. So one of our presenters, unfortunately, won't be able to join us. That person was going to present on renewable/solar. However, I think what you'll discover is we're going to touch on that on several of the presentations this morning. And if you do have any burning questions, Mark, myself, and this team will do our best to facilitate answering those questions. And if for whatever reason we're unable to get you an answer immediately, we will follow up with you and get you the answer that you're seeking. So we will first get started with a message from our state president, who thought that this was a great opportunity to get in front of this audience and to speak a little bit about Duke Energy. I think that you would enjoy it. And then immediately following the video, you will hear from Mark Hohenstein. And I just ask that you sit back, enjoy. You have a host of esteemed presenters before you today, and I think you will enjoy. And feel free to think about your questions and ask them accordingly.
So much for joining us today. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Melissa Satius, Duke Energy Florida State President. I've worked at Duke Energy for 35 years, and when I joined the company as a teenager, I was hand drawing poles and wires in the drafting department. Looking back now, I realize how important it is that I learned about the basics of the business and how they really helped me throughout my career. And probably like many of you watching, that foundation helped me arrive to where I am today. But a lot has changed over the years. However, one thing remains. Our customers expect us to deliver electricity that is reliable, increasingly clean, and more secure, while providing more value every single day. Especially during these challenging economic times, we want to understand your needs and offer solutions that are relevant to you. We're working to help ensure we provide flexibility that businesses need and options to keep costs as low as possible. We continue to use technology and innovation to meet customers where they want us to be. The company is also making strategic improvements across the state to strengthen the grid against outages from severe weather and to improve resiliency to restore power faster when outages occur. As hurricane season begins, we're proud to share self-healing technology in Florida helped save more than 230 million minutes of total lost outage time last year. Duke Energy uses its long history and experience with hurricanes and the expertise of our staff meteorologists to prepare for storms. This includes pre-stocking materials for this year's hurricane season. Additionally, we have agreements with locations throughout the state secured before a storm even hits, and those allow us to set up staging areas to help respond. Our size, scale, and geographic diversity benefits our customers across the entire company. We're able to leverage expertise and resources from other areas and states during major storm events or for other initiatives or solutions that can be developed, managed, and deployed more cost-effectively to serve millions of customers. However, power outages are still possible. We still ask that you prepare your business and families for outages in case they occur, especially during hurricane season. We also know that rates are important to your bottom line. Duke Energy is executing the industry's largest clean energy transition while preserving affordability and reliability. With a combined investment of over $2 billion, Duke Energy Florida's solar generation portfolio will include 25 grid-tied solar power plants that benefit the company's 1.9 million Florida customers. These projects will provide 1,500 megawatts of emission-free generation using approximately 5 million solar panels by 2024. As a result of the company's continued commitment to solar investments, Duke Energy is already passing approximately $56 million of corporate tax savings annually to Florida customers from the Inflation Reduction Act. Additionally, the company is refunding Florida customers another $11.7 million in tax savings from 2022 solar generation. Based on high fuel prices from 2022 and the initial tax credits from the Inflation Reduction Act, Duke Energy Florida's solar plants saved customers more than $30 million. At Duke Energy, we serve more than 700 large customers throughout the state. This number represents a diverse group from hospitals to manufacturers. And like many of you here today, Duke Energy is a company committed to serving our customers and enhancing the vitality of the communities we serve here in Florida. You are a powerful economic engine, and we are proud to have such a strong business community throughout our area. Thank you for being a customer, and I hope you enjoy the program.
Well, good morning, everyone. So glad that you could hear from our state president, Melissa Satius. What you're going to be hearing from us will be very similar to some of the things that Melissa was talking about. We'll keep those themes going, but we really appreciate you joining us today. And I want to thank Donnie and Christian and Wendell for the opportunity to present today on many different facets of Duke Energy. So my name is Mark Hohenstein. I manage our economic development team at Duke for Florida. And we're going to talk a little bit about that effort and what it might mean to you as a manufacturer for those online and those who may be watching this video later on. So let me get started here. Let me share my screen first. That might help. All right. Hopefully everybody can see that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thanks, Wendell. All right. So I'm going to talk about economic development today and Duke Energy's program and how it might help you. First, I want to give you a quick overview of Duke Energy. So you can see the map on the left shows you the states we're in. So we serve retail customers in 6 states, the Carolinas, the Midwest, and Florida. So as you can see here, 8.2 million customers throughout those 6 states. We also have natural gas that we have in every state except for Florida and Indiana, and we add Tennessee to that mix as well. So natural gas in those states, and 27,000 employees throughout the states we cover. We're investing in clean energy. We're investing in our grid. You can see that on the right. In Florida, we have 1.9 million customers, and that those customers have the resources of Duke Energy in the form of 10,500 megawatts of energy generation capacity, covering a 13,000 square mile territory throughout Florida. So there's a lot going on. We are the second largest investor-owned utility in Florida. A lot of coverage in 34 counties around the state. And in terms of investing in solar, which you're going to hear a little bit more about throughout the presentations, so Duke has already invested $1 billion in solar to equate to 700 megawatts of solar that's been installed throughout Florida across 10 different solar power plants. By the end of next year, though, we're going to ramp that up to $2 billion in capital investment for solar and 25 grid-tied solar power plants. So that'll equate to about 1,500 megawatts of new solar that you'll be seeing throughout the state. In addition to those investments, our customers are investing as well. There is a net metering in Florida where customers can get credit on their monthly bill for the solar that they install. And 400 megawatts, over 400 megawatts have been installed by our customers throughout Florida. That equates to over 46,000 customers. So just a little background on what's happening in that space. Now, last year, Duke enhanced our economic development efforts. So we focused on several key areas of support that were identified by state, regional, and local partners that said, hey, we could really use your help in these areas. And so this is how our program is set up at Duke. If you look at it, industry recruitment is one of our key focus areas. So this is helping you as a manufacturer, walking alongside you and helping you as you expand. If you're working on a project where you're trying to add more space, maybe you've just outgrown your existing space and you need help, we can help you there. And we'll talk a little bit about that. Innovation and competitiveness. We're also helping not just the mature companies, but those companies that are just getting started, the startups, entrepreneurship, trying to invest in innovation so that we can see new companies form, helping our communities and helping growing our customer base as well. Product development. If you don't have sites, if you don't have buildings, there's really no place to expand. And so we have a dedicated, focus on product development and helping our communities actually have places to put business. And then research. We're helping our communities think through what is our value proposition? How do we sell our communities? What are the benefits? What data points to why you should come to Orange County? You should come to Lake County. What are the compelling data points that we should be talking about? So we have a researcher who helps to do that. Strategic development is also key. So if you think about the people and the partners that it takes to do economic development successfully, we're really working to enhance their competitiveness, help them with professional development on the personal level, but maybe with their organization, maybe help them think through what is their strategic plan? Do they have a marketing plan? And so Duke is investing in that as well. And then programs and compliance. We have several programs which I'm going to talk to you about today. And we have someone who manages that. So who's helping companies walk through the programs, helping communities go through those programs so that it can really fill the gaps that might be there in terms of them trying to expand or for a community to attract companies to them. And then marketing as well. We have a lot of perceptions about Florida, and a lot of them are untrue. And so we are working on marketing Florida for all it's worth and helping companies to see the value of Florida and how it could really be a great location decision for them to make. So like I mentioned on the industry recruitment side, this is an example of a project that we might work. Now, granted, I really beefed it up. It's 500 million, 1,000 jobs. Not all projects are that big. Don't get me wrong. But just for this example, there are a lot of needs that a project projects have. So if you look at it, there's so many different pieces and parts that go into a location decision, expansion or relocation or whatnot. And so we play a role in that. I highlighted those that we play a very key role, but there are many different ways that we support that project. So there's a lot of considerations that are made, and we're trying to help our communities, again, supporting them so that they can answer those questions.
I like Clinton way too much.
Oh, I think somebody's off mute.
Please make sure you're muted. Thank you.
So there are a lot of different decisions that they have to make, but on electricity and the site side, we play a key role on that. So this is just giving an example of the different factors that go into a location decision. So when it comes to Duke engaging on a project, engaging with you as a manufacturer that may be looking to expand, we will work in three main areas, but there's a lot more that we can do. Rates is always a key point and thing that is considered as you're expanding. We will help work through, our industry recruitment team will help you with rate estimates to look at, if I expand my business by X, what would that mean for my rate? And help you do comparisons. And Wendell and his colleagues also do this as well. So we partner together on this. A lot of times our team is working on new to market business that are considering maybe moving to Florida or maybe moving into Orange County. They were maybe in North Florida before. So we work together with Wendell and his team. But these are things that you might ask for. Rate comparisons. You may be considering other locations. Maybe you're looking at Georgia. You're trying to figure out if another state would be better for you. So we can help you walk through that decision. We have some a discounted rate that we can talk about, and I'll show you some more details about that later. And demand response programs, which I believe Alan Swisher will be talking a little bit about later. But these are different things on the rate side, the cost side, that we can help you with. And of course, on the site location, we've done a lot of work vetting sites throughout Florida that could be really great options for manufacturers. And so we've invested a lot of time and effort into that, and we've helped our communities beef up their programs on this. So we have a database, and we have a lot of options to consider. And then on the design side, as you are moving forward with your project, you're looking at timelines and costs and how it's going to look for that infrastructure going into your building. These are things that we can also kind of help handhold through that project process and help you get some estimates as well on timelines, working with our teams internally. And again, the economic development effort is to integrate all the different facets of Duke. I think Wendell said it best, unlocking the power of Duke. So taking all those different pieces, distribution, transmission, energy efficiency, the backup generation component, solar, electric vehicles, lighting, supply chain, and our real estate group to see what we can do to make your project successful. And, today there are a lot of different factors, like I said, that are going into that decision-making process. But one of the four of the things that I can talk about that are a value proposition to you and your company as you look to expand is large capacity. We have a lot of projects that are coming and saying we need a lot of power, more so than we've seen in the past. And Duke has a lot of we've really planned well, and we have the generation to provide our customers what they need. Not every utility can say that. We maintain good reserve margins so that we can always be ready to serve. So in addition to this, we've, like I said before, vetted a number of sites throughout our territory that can support large manufacturing, large loads. So if capacity is a concern, we have some answers for you. On the speed side, like I mentioned before, we have project managers that will walk your project through the process to ensure that you can meet your timelines. And then on the rate side, we do have competitive rates that I'll be talking to you about our ED rider in just a second. So for qualifying projects, there may be some savings we can offer you. And then renewable offerings. These include RECs, renewable energy credits, net metering, and some subscription programs, which you'll be hearing about from Derek a little bit later. But there's a lot to put on the table, and we just ask that you let us be a part of your project and be a partner with you. I mentioned the ED rider, economic development rider rate. This is a 5-year reduction on your Duke bill. I'm going to give you background on a few different programs. I'll start with the ED rider. This is something that manufacturers can leverage on your expansions, and you can see the qualifying criteria. You would have to have a net new load of 500 kW demand, or if you go into a vacant facility that's been vacant for 90 days or longer, because we're trying to encourage filling those spaces. The threshold is lowered to 350 kW. And as long as that project or that expansion has a 35% load factor or greater, that's another qualifying factor. And then the applicant needs to create either 25 new jobs or invest $500,000 in capital investment. So doing all of that, we actually have a matrix where we put each project in there and we determine what the best rate would be based on all the different factors. As a manufacturer, you would be part of the target industry list. We go by the state's target industry list for what would qualify for this rider. But you could get up to 30% off your bill for that 5-year period. And by qualifying and signing the agreement, it is a 10-year service agreement. So the first 5 years is the discount, and then the last 5 years of the agreement basically says, hey, we're going to remain a Duke Energy customer. And that just helps us to not get those who grab the discount and then they move on to someplace else. So just gives us consistency. So that's a rider that's available for expansions that I'll make you aware of. And then if you look at our overall programs that we have to offer, we have the ED rider, which I just mentioned. We have the Florida Investment Fund, which is case by case, project by project, but it looks at the needs that you might have. Maybe it's related to your site. Maybe there's something that's not working with a site that it's a competitive gap between another site that Duke doesn't serve. But whatever it might be that's non-electric related, Duke can come alongside and put some money toward a grant towards that project to close that deal. And again, it's all designed to make our sites more competitive and to ensure that we can land that project. So that's something to talk to us about. Again, it's a grant program and it's in partnership with the local community. Speaking of community, we have an Economic Development Foundation grant program. This is where we actually we do a call for applications each year. We just closed it out, got a number of great applications, but these are grants that go towards communities for research, marketing, strategic development, some sites programs and whatnot. But it's been very effective to help those communities accomplish their goals in their mission for economic development. And then on the real estate and site development side, we invest heavily in this. It's just so important. Like I said, if you don't have a site, if you don't have a building, where are these companies going to go? So we have a site readiness program that's been in effect for a number of years now. And it really walks through with the community and the landowner, all the different factors that go into a site search. And we hire a site selector that actually works with the types of companies we'd like to see come to our territory. And they review the sites and they provide recommendations to us on how to move forward with making that site ready for business. And so that's been very effective. And we have over 50 different sites that have gone through that program that now with Advancing Sites, we have Advancing Sites Infrastructure Fund. Duke is not just investing in the recommendations, but we're starting to invest in the studies and the infrastructure that needs to go into these sites so that you as a manufacturer can come along and say, you know what, that site's ready to go. I can get into that site faster than this one over here. And that means I can start making money sooner. So just keep that in mind that we've invested a lot there. And then a redevelopment program. Some of our communities are built out. And so we're investing in helping them think through what redevelopment of that building or site might look like, putting maybe a higher better use on that site. So just a few of the ways we're investing in sites and other programs. And then I'll just close with this. Our industry recruitment team is here to serve you. We have 4 individuals that are spread out geographically. They also have industry specialties, but that's not to say that they won't work a project in other specialties. It's just we try to have subject matter experts in each one. But please, you can see here, I know this is the Central Florida area, so you can see that Elizabeth Godwin on our team and Joel Gunter will cover most of the MACF territory. But feel free to call on them at any time if you're looking to expand. We can help you. And as well, you've got Wendell. Call on us to help you as you go through your expansion project. But we're here to help, and we've got, like I said, a number of different programs to help support you. And with that, I will close, and I will turn it over to Doug Ellerby, who's going to talk about grid optimization. Thank you.
Good morning. Let me share my screen here. I'm Doug Ellerby. I'm one of the managers in our distribution asset management group. Before I get too far, can somebody confirm you can see my screen?
Yes, sir. We got you.
We're
Yep.
good.
Excellent. Today, I'll be talking to you about what Duke Energy is doing to build a smarter and stronger grid. There we go. We are making improvements to the grid through our grid strengthening and resiliency initiatives. Grid strengthening involves making improvements to make the grid more resistant to outages from severe weather, as well as physical and cyber threats. This includes things like strengthening structures, updating insulation levels, and relocating difficult to access facilities. Resiliency looks at improvements that minimize the outage impacts to our customers and improves our ability to recover quickly. Our overhead hardening programs have strategically identified Duke's most vulnerable circuits using FEMA's models, which contain over 200 years worth of storm data. Over the course of roughly 30 years, these programs will systematically rebuild the backbone feeder system to grade B construction to meet the National Electric Safety Code's 250C extreme wind loading standard. The existing backbone is comprised of approximately 6,300 miles of overhead lines. The existing lateral system is approximately 11,800 miles. Roughly 50% of these lateral miles will be addressed as part of the grid strengthening programs. You may ask yourself, well, what about the other 50%? The other 50% are underground lateral lines that are part of that lateral system. Over the next 10 years, Duke Energy will be investing over $8 billion in grid strengthening and resiliency. One of the key components in improving resiliency is our self-optimizing grid program, also known as self-healing technology. This program leverages automatic switching devices to reroute power around damaged sections of our backbone feeder. This minimizes the number of customers experiencing a prolonged outage. Our goal is to have 80% of our customers served by a self-optimizing grid team by 2027, with 100% of our customers supported by some type of automated switching capability. Currently, more than 60% of our customers are served by self-healing technology. Self-healing technology in Florida helped save nearly 4 million hours of total outage time last year. Self-healing technology dramatically reduced the outage impact during Hurricanes Ian and Nicole. On this slide, we see a typical self-healing team. It's a one-line representation. As you can see, this team involves 5 different feeders. Those are these numbers at the top from 3 different substations. These are the like abbreviated name for each of the substations at top. Each feeder is segmented into multiple pieces by automated switching devices. Some of them are pad mounted type underground and others are overhead. The red boxes represent closed switches. The green represents the normal open points on the feeder. In the event there is damage to a section, the team automatically reconfigures to isolate the damaged section, minimizing the number of customers involved. And as you can see, each feeder has multiple tie points with other feeders. One of the things Duke is doing to prepare for the future is to modernize how we do grid analysis. Looking at this slide and thinking about all the technological advancements that have taken place over the last 20 years, if you think about the functionality of all the devices that are shown on the left, you now carry all of that in the palm of your hand in your smartphone. The camera, the video recorder, data storage. You can watch TV, you can watch a movie, you can listen to the radio. All of that is now in the palm of your hand with your cell phone. When we think about the things that are going on, that same things are happening to Duke Energy and the distribution grid. The same type of advancements are occurring. We currently have more distributed energy resources with distribution. There's solar on the grid, on the distribution grid. There's batteries, and there's other forms of distributed generation. More and more power is being moved across the distribution grid. And as this trend continues, we need to be able to perform more complex analysis to analyze the power flows that are going to occur and that are occurring. To answer this question, Duke Energy has developed a set of tools to automate the distribution grid analysis. Morecast is a tool developed by Duke Energy that produces a 10-year hourly forecast. We historically have focused on a peak load forecast, so this is a big change for us going to an hourly forecast. And it plays a critical role in helping us to decide our investments for the transmission, generation, and distribution systems. We currently use SIME, which is a third-party circuit analysis software, to do our grid analysis. SIME includes a new battery feature that requires the hourly forecast. So one of the things to think about as we begin to use batteries to do things like shave peak loads, we need to make sure there's enough time to recharge the battery after you've discharged it to be ready for the next peak that's going to occur. Duke has also developed what we call our ADAPT tool, which imports the load forecast and does automated analysis. It looks at problems on the grid, it optimizes solutions and recommends improvements. A distribution planner then has to go in and take those recommendations and validate them using our SIME analysis software. All of this helps us to prepare for the challenges of the grid of the future. Are there any questions about what I've shared? If not, I will turn it over to Derek.
Good morning, and go get on camera. Good morning, everyone. My name is Derek Barkin with Duke Energy. Thanks, Doug, for that information. I was really well solar energy, and specifically, we'll talk about clean energy.
Hey, Derek, your audio seems to be
Connection, as well as clean energy impact by Nate Lewis, my colleague, who will take over after I'm complete.
Hey, Derek, if you can hear us, we're having a really hard time getting your audio. It sounds like you're cutting out. Derek, are you able to hear? There's someone from the Duke Energy team who may be able to.
Let me tell you this. Don't go, give
Hey,
my presentation up, and we'll get.
Hey, Derek, we're having a little trouble hearing your audio. I was going to ask Nate if he could pinch hit.
Sure. This is Nate. Can everybody hear me and see me okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, thanks, Nate.
Sure. I've got the presentation here. 1 second, I can pull it up and share my screen. Okay. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Great. So yeah, apologize for that. Derek is I believe still on, and if his connection improves, Derek, feel free to jump in. But we wanted to give you an overview of some of our clean energy solutions. Derek and I are colleagues on our Duke Energy Clean Energy Solutions team, and we deliver clean energy programs to our customers. Derek manages our Clean Energy Connection program, which is our shared solar program in Florida. And I can give an overview on that, and then also a new program that that we have hopefully in the works in Florida that I'll be managing as well.
Hey,
So
Nate, can you hear me?
I can, yeah.
All right. Thank you for pinch hitting for the beginning. Sorry about that, team. Nate, can you just continue to share for me, Nate? That'll work better, I think. Awesome.
Yeah, sure. Let's see. So can you see that? I've gone to advance the slides there.
Yeah, that's fine. That works. All right. Good morning again. My name is Derek Barkman. Sorry about the technical difficulties, but let me go into Clean Energy Connection. So this program is specific to Florida currently. It's a subscription-based solar program. So what we're doing currently is we are building solar throughout the state. There will be 10 at the end of next year, and they are placed throughout the state, typically in Central to North Florida. Each site is about 74.9 megawatts. Roughly about 500 or to 600 acres or so. And in terms of capacity, each one can support over 1,000 homes. With that said, the program itself, our large customers, local governments for residential, small, medium business, and income qualified customers. Today, I'm specifically talking about our small to medium business segment. Our large and local customer segments are sold out at this time, and Nate has another option for those customers as well. But specifically, I'm talking to small and medium business customers within the Duke Energy Florida footprint. So how it works is, as a customer, you will subscribe into that site. We look at your last year of usage, convert that kWh value into an equivalent kW subscription into the program. Every month, when those sites generate energy that gets placed on the grid, you get a portion of that in the form of a credit. So you will pay a fee, you'll receive a credit, and you will also receive the RECs that gets retired on behalf of all of our participants as it relates to sustainability goals. So the program itself supports the expansion of solar in Florida. And as I mentioned before, you'll earn these monthly bill credits for your share of the solar energy that was generated by the fleet of sites in the program. And again, all this sort of transition into a net zero future by 2050. The process to sign up is all online. I'll kind of walk you through some of that. But let's kind of move on to the next slide. We can continue talking about it in a bit more detail. So as I mentioned before, the first step in terms of how it works, these sites in the program, we currently have 6 operational board that just went online in April. So we're up to 6 sites out of our 10. Those sites, that goes, this is one grid. That grid has all forms of energy on it, but these sites are dedicated to our subscribers. A customer then goes on the website and they can subscribe up to 100% of their usage based off their 12 months of usage, as I mentioned before. And then on their bill, they'll have these 2 line items on their bill. They'll see a fee for the program and a credit for the program. The fee is static. The fee is the same for the first month of the program to the end of the program. This is designed to be a 30-year program that's actually to pay at least 1 month of fee, and you'll receive the credit. And at that point, you're free to leave the program at any time. But with that said, the fee itself is locked in for the life of the program. So as long as your subscription value remains the same, if you decide to increase your subscription value or decrease your subscription value. That way your fees or bill changes. I think about 35 cents per kW subscribed. What does vary is the credit. The credit is tied directly to the fleet and how much energy that's grid from month to month. There's no solar energy like to have periods of longer hours of billing. You have periods where there's more cloud cover, more rain, more inclement weather. All those variables play a role in the credits you receive from month to month on your bill. Typically speaking, the credits in the summer period can be higher. In the winters or the shoulder of your right, a little bit lower. That's only variability as it relates to CEC. The fee is static for the life of the program. The credit will vary from year to year in the program.
Hey, Derek. Hey, Derek.
And one big point I want to also mention is that the rate does change. Yeah, can you? Yeah.
Yeah, it's
You can't hear,
yeah, the audio is sort of cutting in and out again. And I can definitely take the rest of the slides for you. If you'd like.
Continue on. Thank you. Yeah, continue on.
Okay. Sorry about that. So a little bit about the eligibility requirements and details of Clean Energy Connection here. So as Derek mentioned, right now it's available for small business and residential customers. And he went over the credit process where you receive credits. Of course, there's no on-site panels or installation for participants because the subscription fee for the program is where you're you're subscribing for a share of the community solar sites, which is sort of the great thing and the big feature about the program. If you stay in DEF, as it says there, the program moves with you, which is another feature. As long as you're a Duke Energy Florida customer, you can stay subscribed to the program. And then, of course, the program helps customers reach their sustainability goals and ERG goals as well. So going on to the next slide here. So the longer you stay on the program, the larger the bill credit skid, as this slide shows. So the cost to participate remains flat if the subscription is $8.35 at KW currently, as it says there. So and that's based on how many KW you subscribe to. But then bill credits, they remain flat for the first 3 years, but then increase 1.5% every year. So it's a great program for the long term. And as you increase your time within the program, the bill credits increase as well. So as you can see there, it just continues to go up over 20 years. As for residential, commercial, the renewable energy credits, as it says here, I'll be speaking about renewable energy credits as well within our new Clean Energy Impact program. But so a renewable energy credit, it represents the solar generated on the customer's behalf here. So our renewable energy credit is 1,000 kilowatt hours or 1 megawatt hour of renewable energy. And in this case, it's renewable energy generated through the Duke Energy Clean Energy Connection facilities. So the average residential customer will earn 1 REC per month when their subscription level matches their entire energy load. So they're signing up with the $8.35 for 1 kW, as we said. And then so we are extending the program to income qualified customers. So this is a great benefit of the program as well. 26 megawatts of generation capacity set aside for income qualified. And the differences for income qualified customers are there are no application fees, no customer financials are needed. And so and the savings, it's all just the net credit. So you start saving the first month of participation for income qualified. And then a little bit more about income qualified program economics. The cost to participate is the same where it remains flat, but then the bill credits are levelized for the life of the program as well. So how it works for income qualified is your bill credits $9.03 per kW per month. So it's always higher than the subscription fee. So it's just a great benefit for income qualified that the bill credit is over the cost every month. And as you can see there on the map, Clean Energy Connection customers are all over our jurisdiction in Florida, 137 different towns, cities, or villages where we have subscribers, and they're all, as we mentioned, subscribing to our Clean Energy Connection shared community solar facilities. There is the website where you can go and find more out about Clean Energy Connection. And then there's a video on how the credit versus, or I'm sorry, the subscription fee versus the credit works. Okay, hope I did that justice, Derek, and again, sorry everybody for the technical difficulties there. And now I have just a couple of slides on a new pending program that I'll be managing called Clean Energy Impact. And it is primarily for large business. So manufacturing customers, but large commercial and industrial customers in Florida who are interested in meeting certain sustainability goals or ESG or ERG goals. So a little bit about this program. So again, it is pending. We have filed a petition for approval with the Florida Public Service Commission. Next week, the program will actually be on the commission's agenda for review, which is a good sign in terms of progress towards approval. So we are hopeful, if everything goes well with that review, and everything has gone well so far within the commission regulatory structure for approval, that will be approved next month and be able to launch in August. So it is coming, relatively soon, if everything goes to plan. So if approved, the Clean Energy Impact Program will provide customers, and as I mentioned, primary target are manufacturing-based, large commercial and industrial customers with simple way to achieve sustainability goals, reduce carbon emissions, and support local renewable energy in Florida. So we're through CEI, we'll be selling renewable energy certificates directly from the DEF solar facilities that you've heard a little bit about earlier in the presentation. We have right off the bat 13 solar facilities in the state, Duke-owned, that are producing about 1.4 million renewable energy certificates a year that we'll be able to offer for sale through CEI. And again, just a little bit about a REC. So one REC is 1 megawatt hour of renewable energy. That's what it represents. So it's basically the attributes of the renewable energy, the fact that it's from a clean renewable source, disconnected from the electricity itself. So customers can buy these renewable energy certificates, and if they match a portion of their usage or their entire usage with the RECs, then customers can claim that they're using 100% renewable clean energy, which is amazing for any sort of sustainability goals or carbon emission reduction goals that customers have. And this makes it easy for them because we plan on pricing the RECs at an affordable market competitive price. We'll help the customer determine how many RECs that they would like to purchase. It's of course confirmed that all of these RECs are going to be coming from Duke Energy Florida Solar Sources. And it helps others because the revenue generated from the program through the sale of the RECs is going to go back into the rate base. Going to go back to lower energy costs for all Florida customers. So it's a win-win-win. So in terms of how the program works, just a quick little 1, 2, 3, 4 here. A business would enroll. We'd sign an agreement for however many RECs they want to purchase. The minimum will be 1,000 RECs. The renewable power, of course, is generated locally in Florida. We issue those RECs on behalf of the customer and then retire them on behalf of the customer. So then the customer can claim claim those renewable attributes, and claim that clean energy, once we retire them. And then customers, of course, can report that as using however many RECs that they've purchased, as using that portion of clean energy. So customer can show that they're supporting local clean energy through the program. All right, great. So that's it for our clean energy solutions. Again, it's an exciting space. We're working on a lot of things, but excited to hopefully roll this out soon and have several different offerings for Florida customers.
Thank you, Nate, for that great presentation. So now we will turn the presentation over to Alan Swisher, who will talk to you about direct efficiency. Alan, the floor is yours.
Okay. Well, good morning, everybody. Let me share my screen here. All right, can everybody see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, as Wendell mentioned, I'm Alan Swisher. I've got Melissa, our president, by 5 years, as I'm on my 40th year here at Duke Energy by way of Progress Energy, by way of Florida Power way back in the day. Held a variety of different positions from large account management like Wendell to power quality consultant to commercial energy efficiency program manager, and currently working in our non-regulated products and services area. But I'm going to cover a couple of different topics today. Customer programs that you can take advantage of, where if you implement some efficiency measures in your facility, we'll pay a portion of it if you meet certain criteria. So I'll go over those things that you can do where you can get a rebate back from us. And then we'll talk about some of the products and services we offer that you would have to pay for. And with a focus on our retrofit lighting program, where you pay for the going to LED lighting out of the savings that you're acquiring from going to LED. And also talk about EV charging a little bit. Give you a high level overview. It's a very hot topic now with us. We get a lot of inquiries about the EV charging and what you should look for and how you should go about evaluating the different charging applications that are available to you. But I'm just going to go through these on a high level. These energy efficiency measures that are available. Why is it not big? Oh, there we go. Okay, now it's going. Okay, so we focus on we have a couple of different measures surrounding building envelope, and basically it's ceiling insulation and wall insulation that we can help you with in that area. But most of our rebates come in the form of upgraded HVAC equipment, where you have to meet, if you put in new HVAC equipment and meet a certain efficiency, you'll qualify for a rebate. We also offer, as part of our program, a no cost free energy audit. And if you request one of these, we'll send a qualified representative out, Duke Energy employee that's a certified energy manager or energy engineer, and they'll come out to your facility and give you some tips about how you can save energy, some practical things you can do, some below cost things you can do, and they'll go through your bill with you and assess how you're utilizing things and see if they can come up with a plan to help you be a little bit more energy efficiency, a little bit more energy.
Slipped on mute there.
Okay, so I'm going to see if I can advance this way because I'm not getting very far here. Okay, yeah, it's a little quicker. Okay, the slide's a little bit smaller, but I think this will work. You can see we talked about ceiling insulation, wall insulation. Those are all measures you can get rebates for. And then a variety of different HVAC equipment. For the smaller customer, we'll also do a duct test, make sure your ducts aren't leaking, and we have a repair program associated with that as well. And I'm not going to go into the specifics of this, but the rebate you get is based on the size of the equipment in terms of air conditioner. So for chillers, we'll give you $20 a ton if your unit qualifies. And we have the specifications in terms of how efficient it has to be over the standard code. It's typically 5 to 10%, and you qualify for this $20 a ton. So what we would ask you to do is call us ahead of time, and we can, before you make any purchase, and we can tell you what you would qualify for, what those specifications are. So if you wanted to participate in the program and get a rebate and qualify for that, you'll know up front. If you've installed equipment within the last few months, you don't have to have someone come out to your facility to go over that with you. You can submit an application for a rebate, and we'll go ahead and check the installation if it's within 6 months of the installation, and you can still qualify for the rebate. So chillers are part of the program. Rooftop units are probably the thing that we rebate the most, and those are $50 a ton. Demand control ventilation up to $50 a ton is also what we'll give you a rebate for. Let's see, small heat pumps under 65,000 BTUs. They have to have at least a 15 SEER to qualify, and the HSPF of 8.2. It's not a huge rebate, but you can get up to $250 or $50 a ton for that equipment. So it is available. It is, if you made a commitment to buy an energy efficiency unit, you might as well get the rebate for. For hotels, motels, package terminal heat pumps, air conditioning, also something we would rebate for. Okay. So the things you have to know is you don't have to have a free energy audit to be eligible to receive an incentive. And as long as you get your documentation to us within 6 months of the installation, you can qualify for the rebate. We'll process the rebate for you. There's not a lot you have to do on your end except to supply us with the efficiency of the equipment you purchased. And we can take it from there and do everything for you. We do inspect a percentage of the installations out there. We may pick your site to go out and take a look and make sure everything is installed properly. We do have a website that you can go to, and I've got a link to it here, and it'll actually, you can click on each individual measure and get the exact qualifications of what you need to purchase in order to qualify for the rebate. So if you have facilities in other states in the Duke service area, you may be aware that there are a lot of different rebates available to you that aren't in Florida. Florida is one of the last states that uses the RIM measure. It's called rate impact measurement to evaluate different measures. So we don't rebate for a lot of things that you can get rebates for if you have facilities up in the Carolinas or Indiana or Ohio or Kentucky under our service area. But you can contact us and we can get you in touch with the right person to facilitate that for you. Okay, so that's a brief overview of our commercial energy rebate program. Now, we do offer products and services that are not part of our regulated Duke entity. They're under a entity called Duke Energy One. And it's our direct efficiency program is what we call it. And we offer a variety of different products and services for customers that are looking to make improvements in their facility or just to kind of add to the resiliency of the facility. Now, since these are what they're not regulated by the Public Service Commission, They, before we can go out to your facility and speak with you in detail about it, we have to send you a, what's called a CDA, Customer Disclosure Agreement, whereby we have to inform you that if you purchase anything from us, you're not going to get preferential treatment on the, in terms of utility rates or service. If you don't purchase anything from us, you're not going to be, there's not going to be any negative impacts. It's strictly a customer choice program. We'll ask that you just acknowledge that you understand that these services available other places as well. So we offer a wide range of products and services that I mentioned, from LED lighting upgrades to EV charging stations. We also offer backup generation. So if you're looking to install a generator or replace an existing one, we can help you with that. We have a sub-metering service. So if you have a building and you're looking to find out what part of that building is costing you money relative to the rest of the building, we can do that. A good example would be a school board that wants to find out what their kitchens at a particular school are costing them relative to the rest of the facilities in the area. But we can offer sub-metering service. We also have an enhanced walkthrough audit that's not free. So if you want one of our team to come out there and evaluate a specific project that you're working on, that'll take some time to evaluate. It's a higher level of service, and we can provide you some real insight onto what you're trying to do and what the paybacks might be for you. And if you want to find out what a certain piece of equipment is costing you, we can put a device on there that'll measure what that is doing for you, how it's running, and how it's operating relative to other similar pieces of equipment. So wide variety of things we can help you with in terms of that. Our lighting retrofit to LED. If you've got some old lights, you're looking to go to LED, but you don't have the capital to put it up front, to pay up front to do something like that, or you have capital that's earmarked for other areas, and you don't have it. You're looking to put off the retrofitting to LED. Well, it might be a great program for you in that we can come in and we can retrofit your entire facility externally and internally. So if you have some external building lights, we can help with those as well. And we can change them all to LED, and you don't pay anything for that up front, but we will bill you out of the savings that you're realizing from the change to LED. So say if you're saving $500 a month on your electric bill by going to LED lighting, then we may send you a bill for $500 for the month. So the savings pays for your lighting upgrade. Typically, a contract like that runs between 5 and 7 years. During that 5 to 7 year time, we own and operate the lighting system for you. So if anything fails, if you need replacement bulbs, we handle all of that. And at the end of the term of the contract, we turn the lighting over to you, and then 100% of the savings is going to your facility, or you'll be realizing 100% of the savings. So LED lighting can make a big difference. Here's some different scenarios, a before and after scenario you can see it, and here's a warehouse where the before is the top. The parking garage where you have the old sodium lights, kind of yellowish orange light, and the change to LED makes a pretty big difference in that application. So in addition to getting energy savings from going LED, you get much better lighting, much better rendition. There's a supermarket that went to LED. And there's another warehouse we can see on the left is before, the right is after. And we also do sports lighting. So those are that's our basic lighting program. And if you want to take advantage of that, we'll send one of our assessors out there, and we can count your lights and calculate the savings, what you would be realizing per month, and then we can give you a proposal on how that would look for you over the term of 5 to 7 years. All right, so let's talk about EV charging a little bit. That's probably the number one thing we're getting requests on from customers. They want to find out more about EV charging and what it takes to put in an EV charger, how much it costs, what to look out for. So let's give you a high level overview. There are 3 levels of EV charging stations. The first being a standard wall outlet. And this is what my daughter-in-law and son do when they come over to my house. They just plug it in. They take their car and plug it into the garage outlet. It doesn't cost very much to charge a car, but it takes a long time to do it with the level 1 charger, which is basically a 120 outlet. It can take all night long to charge. So they don't charge very quickly, but it doesn't cost very much to do it. And everybody has an outlet that they can plug into. So that's a level 1 charger. Obviously, that's not part of our program. We get into the installation of level 2 and level 3 chargers. Level 2 is the next step up. That's what you're going to see mostly out when you're out and about and you see charging stations. They're getting better all the time. These slides are a little bit dated. Usually you get 25 miles an hour per hour of charge. That has increased over time, so it's a little bit more than that now. Some of that depends on the charger. Some of that depends on your car. But they typically run off a 240 volt circuit or a 208 volt circuit, which is the equivalent of your dryer. So it would be a circuit like that would charge your car. There are different types of level 2 chargers. The least expensive type is what we call a non-network station, right? And all these are basically glorified plugs, glorified 240 volt plugs that can charge a car quicker than the 120 outlet. They don't have any software capabilities. They just serve the purpose to charge the car. So you can't charge customers for doing that if you're running a business. You can't stop people from using them. I've seen different people try to put cages around them and stuff, but if they're non-network, there's really nothing you can do to keep other people from using them unless they're behind a gate or something like that. But those are the least expensive chargers out there, level 2 chargers out there. And then the network stations are what you'll see that's more common. It allows you to recoup some of your costs. These are stations that can be set up to whatever you want to charge, right? So you dictate the amount that you want to charge customers or employees or whoever that wants to use your charger. So you can set them up to charge by the energy consumption the customer is using by kWh, or you can set it up as an hourly charge, strictly up to you. There are most non-network chargers come with a year's package. Network chargers come with a year's software capability, and then afterwards that turns into a subscription service for a few $100s a port. But you can get a variety of information out of it. There's also a company that works behind the scenes to process all these payments, and then they get you you do a revenue share with them, and they send you a check at the end of each month for the amount that you're contracted with. You can change that amount as you wish. Level 2 chargers that are networked, you can lock people out of them. You can set different parameters on them. That people can pay at the pump. You can have a fob, you can have a card system. There's just a variety of different things that you can do. Very flexible units. Okay, and the last one is level 3 charging, and these are very large chargers. They take a lot of power. They're about the size of gas pumps, and you'll see those out and about kind of infrequently because the cost is extremely high for putting these in. A typical level 3 charger with 2 ports, and what I mean by ports is each port can handle 1 parking space. So they typically come with 2 ports. You're looking at a cost of around, for a 2-port charger, around $65,000. The benefit for these is they can charge your car very quickly in less than an hour. So if you're plugged into one of those, you can get in and out very quickly, but there's a price to do that. They also require special service on the utility side. They use a different voltage than typically is out there. They use a 277-480. They're 277-480 volt chargers. So in a lot of cases, the utility, us or whoever, will have to go in and put a special transformer for these chargers, and there's could be a cost for that as well. So you get into a lot of different variables if you want to explore DC fast charging, but they are out there and they are available. All right. So, and they come in a variety of power ranges. The quicker you want to charge the car, the more you'll pay for the level 3 charger. There also is about there are some supply chain issues with these. It takes sometimes 4 to 6 months to get them. All right. So what do you need to look for if you're thinking about installing an EV charger? So you want to figure out first, how do you want to use them? Do you want to charge people for them, or you just want to have them as an amenity for your employees or your customers? What type do you want to install, level 2 or level 3? And let's go back to level 2. When I said a level 3 2-port charger is around $65,000 or $60,000. Level 2 2-port charger will probably be in the $5,000 range for the equipment. But that can vary depending on the manufacturer. There's a lot of different makes and models out there. So the biggest cost of all this is going to be not the equipment itself, but the installation. So you want to make sure that you can locate this charger either close to your electrical room, or it should be close to an existing transformer that has the right voltage. The closer you are to those things, the less expensive it is going to be to install a level 2 charger or level 3 charger. The installation is usually, in my experience, is much, much greater than the equipment itself. Maybe 2, 3, 4 times as much as the equipment. So where you locate this, these are going to be is going to be the key to everything. There's other things to consider when you're putting in EV chargers. Are you going to need bollards? That's an additional cost to protect them. Bollards are wheel stops. There's usually some signage associated with it that designates them as a EV charging spot, and there's also some striping that you'll see on pavement. That's additional cost if you want that. Cell signal, these things all work off cell signals, so they need to be in a location where you can receive a cell signal, nice strong cell signal. Otherwise, you have to put in a booster to go with them. So all things to consider. All things to consider. There are rebates out there for level 2 and level 3 chargers from Duke. Level 2 chargers It has to be really a special case to want to have those rebates, because there's some qualifying things you have to go through, and the rebates aren't very significant. They're in the $300 to $500 range per station, not per port. There are on level 3, the rebates start at 4,000 and they go up from there. So they are much more significant for level 3. But again, there are certain things you have to do to qualify to get those. Okay, so there are formulas to figure out how much it would cost to charge a car, but you can plug into a 120 outlet at 10 cents a kWh and charge your car over time for about 50 cents for a while. So they're pretty cheap to charge. Okay, so here's just some pictures of some normal installations. Okay, this is a level 2 charger. This is actually my dermatologist. So you can see it's right here. It's got 2 ports. It serves this parking spot, close to the transformer. This meter actually meters that whole building behind it and the charger. So you don't need a special meter for the charger in this case. Okay. And there's a typical payment pad. You can see it's got a fast pass. Typically there'll be an app the customer can download and utilize to pay at the charging station. And there's the level 3 charger. So here's the space that we're managing here. And the charger is so big it commands its own partial space next to it. So that's space considerations, or on level 3s or something else you have to consider. And you can see there's a couple of bollards there to protect it. And those aren't inexpensive. They're not near the cost of the charger, but there's something to be considered. And if you're going to install it and it's not coming out of your existing electrical room and you have to set a new meter, this is typically what happens. And there you have to set not only a new meter, but a distribution panel to feed the charger. We will typically tell you that if you're going to put in one charger to manage 2 spaces, size your distribution, your electrical distribution, such that you can go back and add a station later down the line. So you'll have the capability to manage 4 spaces. It's much less expensive to do that and go back and have to change this whole panel out and rerun everything. So now, as far as Duke Energy, we can help you with all this. If you're in the Central Florida area, I'm probably the guy to come out, and I'm free. I can come out there and give you some advice and tell you where the best way to locate this is. And if you want to purchase it from us, and we can do the complete installation, furnish the equipment, and maintain it for you over time. But you're free to select any vendor out there that you want to work with. And you don't have to buy the charger from us to qualify for the Duke Energy rebate as well. So that's available to you just for being a Duke Energy customer and putting in the charger. I hope this has been informative. And certainly if you have any questions, feel free to ask them and I'll try to answer them the best I can.
Well, I would like to thank all of our presenters today. This is the portion of the webinar where you have the opportunity to ask any questions that you may have, and we'll do our best to facilitate those questions and give you the answers that you're seeking. So the floor is open for any questions you have.
Hey, Wendell, this is Marnie Spence. I just really appreciate this presentation from your entire team. It was extremely informative. And they were helpful and constantly said, contact us. So what is contact us? How do we do that? I'd like to understand what that is so we could tell more of our manufacturers about that.
Sure. The best way to contact us is to go to Duke-Energy-energy.com, Duke-Energy.com. There we go. And there are a lot of opportunities there on our site to get you to these specialty areas, but you can also utilize me as a source. I have the pleasure of serving on this outstanding MACF board.
That's
so
right, Wendell.
So if all else fails, use me as a navigator. That's my elevator speech when someone asks me, what do you do for Duke Energy? I say I'm an account executive as well as a navigator. So I can always help navigate you through the process and get you in touch with the right stakeholder within Duke. So don't worry about if you are having trouble navigating the site, but the site is pretty easy to navigate. So feel free to go on that site. And if you have any questions based on any information you find, I am always a source for you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the question. And thank you for the great idea. Marty, Donnie, and Christian were paramount in putting all this together as well. So I thank them for their efforts as well. So I will be remiss if I didn't give them that plug, even though I was going to take the credit. So, but
As you should.
That's just
Thank
me.
you. Thank you.
No, thank you.
It's all you, Wendell. I do have a question. I would love to actually get these slide decks loaded with some contact information that pertains, for instance, Alan, with you. So we have a forum that is just for MACF members. And if you wouldn't mind sharing that slide deck and then your contact information, because there was a lot of information you threw out there that I didn't know that Duke did. So that was very, very informative, and I felt this was great. So, but I'd love to get these slide decks loaded into the forum if possible. So if you guys don't mind just emailing those out to me, and I'll get that put into our MACF open forum, create libraries, and I can even pass ownership to you on the forum so that you'd be able to change it, update it as time permits and things change.
Sure. And Donnie, I'll take the lead on making sure that the individuals that presented are able to share that information with you and make sure that they have the appropriate contact information to get it over to you. So thank you for that.
Thank you so much.
Anytime. Any other questions? I know we're short on time here, but we would like to answer any questions that you may have.
You know, I can throw a few out there if you want, Wendell here. I'm curious.
No, you lost your opportunity, sir. No, by all means, if you have some additional questions, we will answer them. Just kidding, Donnie.
You're good. You're good. So if you were to say the biggest advantage that manufacturers are taking advantage of right now, do you have an idea of what that might be, or somebody from the team?
I'll start, and then feel free, presenters, to chime in. I would say Alan's presentation as it relates to EV charging, those are like some of the big topics that are out there, as well as the Derek Farfan and Nate presentation as it relates to REX. Those are some new opportunities that are out there that customers are very interested in, because as you know, all of our manufacturing entities and other genres out there have sustainability goals that they have to reach, right? And because of where their facilities are located and some of the spacing challenges that they have in their respective areas won't allow them to do things always the traditional way. So they use REX to help facilitate those challenges from a sustainability point of view and to help them realize their sustainability goals. So I'll open it up to the audience to kind of chime in or fill in anything that I may have missed.
No, this is Derek. Can you guys hear me better this time? Let's go around.
Yes, sir.
All right, awesome. Gotta love Murphy's Law. So when I guess I couldn't have said any better. You know, with CEC and CEI, it just provides customers the opportunity to meet their sustainability goals without having to do all the investments, the work of getting solar, the solar installed on site. And we found that that's really been a lot of, especially our larger customers, that's what they're looking for, right? Is to get those RECs, to be able to make those claims, and also support the transition and have those local assets versus having renewable sites throughout the country. You have these sites that are within the Florida state line, which helps them kind of make that story too, that they're supporting solar the transition in the state of Florida. So add that to that conversation.
Thanks, Derek, for that.
So I would add, this is Alan again, just it'd be a great idea to give them a link to both the direct efficiency site as well as the energy efficiency site, because we have, I touched on 2 hot topics, but we have a variety of other things that I briefly touched on, but there's some I didn't even mention. So like we have a metrology services group that I actually head up where we do laser scanning and 3D modeling. So there are a lot of different things available out there to you. So it'd be a good idea just to go to that link and see what's out there, because we don't really get the word out as thorough as we could. But there's a lot of things out there that you can take advantage of.
Yeah, and another thing, Donnie, I would say is I would impress upon the audience and the manufacturing segment to take advantage of the free energy audits. Yes, we have some more complex audits that we offer that are at a premium, right? So that we charge for. But there are some free energy audits that are out there that can kind of help address some of the challenges and some of the things that can kind of help bring about better stewardship when it comes to using energy, right? So please, impress upon the audience to take advantage of those opportunities as well. And then the links that were mentioned by Alan are a great pathway to those opportunities. And I will provide you a summary of helpful links that will help navigate our manufacturers to these links so they can take advantage of it. So,
and Wendell, if I could just add to Donnie's question, on the economic development side, manufacturers are looking to expand. I mean, that's a part of the business, right? So please reach out to us. I mentioned the sites before. A quick link for you is duke-energy.com/Florida sites. Again, duke-energy.com/Florida sites. So if you go there, you can see a lot of the sites that we've already vetted and get some information on them. So again, we're working with some local manufacturers right now on some big expansions, and we know that there's a supply chain need, and we're seeing expansions through that as well. So let us help you out with that.
Great. Thanks for that, Mark. Yeah, so if there are any other questions, we'll facilitate those. But if not, I'll take the lead on getting some helpful links to you, Donnie and Christian, so that way you can share with our audience and they can take advantage of these great opportunities that are out there. To your point, Donnie, that a lot of manufacturers are similar to you, that they're hearing about these things for the very first time. Hence the reason why when we all collectively talked about bringing Duke Energy to this audience, this was a great opportunity for us to kind of unlock the power of Duke Energy, right? Again, pun intended with power, but it's great to have dialogue with this audience and to let them know that we're out there to help. Even if you're not a Duke Energy customer, some of the opportunities that were mentioned by Alan, we can assist you with those, even if you're an OUC or an FP&L customer. There are ways that we can still kind of help you along the way with solutions that you may need for your respective facility.
Absolutely, just an amazing team you guys have. Great folks. Every experience that I've experienced as far as calling on a manufacturer with this team has been amazing. I look forward to continuing to work with you guys and seeing how else we can improve our community. You've been great. This webinar has been phenomenal. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you. And that's all I have, Christian.
Yep. Thank you so much to the Duke team for your presentations today. Again, I'll just echo all the other comments that the information was invaluable. We look forward to continuing these conversations to help add value to our manufacturers. A recording of this will be available. We'll get those presentations available for you, and we look forward to continuing the partnership with Duke Energy. With that, thank you everybody for attending, and we look forward to seeing you at the next MACF event. Have a great day.
Thank you all. Have a great, wonderful day.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks all.